Welcome to Coffee and Cleavage, everyone.
Welcome, guys. So,
first dates.
Ooh, first dates. What should you do on a first date? What should you
What to do and what not to do.
Oh, yeah, there's always some what not to do's with us, isn't there?
There is.
We're so bossy.
Wow, we really are. Not really, though.
Just suggestive.
Yeah. We're actually the nicest girls. People tell us we're like the nicest girls ever. So we're really not that bossy. But okay. Anyways, first dates. Well,
I feel like the first goal of a first date is to really just try to make a connection.
Yeah.
You know, be yourself.
Be yourself. Tell the person if you're nervous. Guarantee you they're nervous too.
Fuck yeah. Ask questions, but also listen.
Yeah.
To the way that they ask you questions. Try to figure out what they're into, what they like.
Yeah.
You know, what makes them smile, what makes them happy. You know, just like genuine, really trying to learn about the other person.
Yeah. You know, like you actually cared and have interest about them. I mean,
well, hopefully you do if you're going on a first date. Hopefully. But what are some things that you shouldn't talk about on a first date?
You shouldn't talk about your ex.
Yeah.
Don't talk about your ex.
Don't do it.
No. Gosh.
Don't talk about religion. Or politics.
Oh, yeah. Those are two no-nos right there.
And I feel like people are so passionate. And so, like, maybe that for some people might come up more naturally if you have, like, a really strong faith or you have really strong beliefs. But I just feel like a first date is not a good place to talk about that.
Unless you meet them on Christian Mingle or, like, you know, like
at your church or you know, at a political rally or something.
You know you're on the same page with that.
More context.
Yeah.
But if it's just like a normal first date, I feel like leaving that stuff out is a lot better.
Oh, absolutely. You know, that's stuff that people don't want to usually talk about the first time.
No.
Yeah, it can cause a lot of conflict.
Or checklists. Like, I don't know if people actually do this, but I'll just assume that some people may be like, this is what I want. This is what I don't want. And it's like, while I'm all for I like being direct, I feel like the first date is not a great place to be like, do you want to have kids? You want to get married?
Yeah,
hold on. Let me give out my checklist.
That's a good way to make someone want to run for the hills.
Exactly. It doesn't feel very casual at that point.
No, I think you're going to scare the person off.
It's a little pressured.
Yeah, it is. You want to reel them in before you try to scare them off.
Exactly. So what are some, like, bad things that have happened to you on a date that you just think are, like, not okay?
Well, for instance, if you're really cheap, and that's the thing, okay, what is expected? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, as a woman, like, you don't expect the man to always have to pay for everything.
No.
But a first date, it's usually like a gentleman thing to do, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard. I feel like that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. But, okay, if you're asking someone out on a date, you know, you don't, okay, I've had this happen to me before, where you want to just split something off the menu? And not because, you know, they're not hungry, because they're being cheap. Like, yeah, to me that's like, no.
It can come off the wrong way.
Food. Yeah.
You're like, no, I want this. And they're like, no, but I want that. So we're going to split it. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Off to a real great start.
Yeah. And that actually wasn't on a first date. But I'm saying, like, that's like I don't know.
Yeah.
That can happen on a first date. And I'm just like, no.
Like, it's so difficult because we're in this, like, climate, if you will, where, you know, people can just split things. Not everything is on a man. Like,
no.
A man doesn't need to come over and open the door for a first date. Like, that's great if they want to, but it's not like a requirement for men to act like a very coordinated way or to always pay for everything, like you said.
Yeah.
But if the first date a guy does ask you out and he asks you to go to the movies, like, how awkward would it be if you showed up to the fucking movies and he buys a ticket for one?
Yeah, just steps ahead of you, like, for one, please. You're like,
You're
okay.
oh, okay. I guess I'm seeing a different movie.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's not even really about the expectation to pay. It's not even about the money.
It's not.
It's really not about the money.
Principle.
It's just
I don't
like
know.
the experience, you know? Like if you get asked out to dinner, you know, you're getting taken to dinner. It's like a little treat. It's a date.
Yeah. And
you
maybe
know?
a girl wants to take you on a date. Like, hey,
I
I'm
love
taking
that.
you out tonight. So this is on me. And that's totally where it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've done that before.
Yeah.
Lots of times. I've also done Dutch like so many times that I can't count. But that was once I was already dating someone. You know, it wasn't like the first date and I was like, hey, I want to take you out to dinner. Can we split this?
I've never done a Dutch date before.
Really?
Never. I've done one where like, okay, this time I'll pay for it, or you know, or they'll pay for it. But I've never done like Dutch before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have, and to where like I'm splitting the bill, or I just like have my own bill, you know. And I've done that for places that were like more expensive too, you know, or like going to like a concert or something like that. It's like where I bought my own ticket and I paid for my own food, and I didn't even think twice about it, you know, because it was like something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I wasn't like gonna expect somebody to like drop $100 on a concert ticket for me, you know, like, hey, do you want to go to this concert? I didn't even think like, okay, that means you're gonna pay for the concert. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Like it was just like in my, you know, nature to just be like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, let's go, pay for it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
So everyone is different, but I feel like for first dates, it is nice if the person who's doing the asking is the one who is, you know,
Yeah.
paying, at least for the first date.
Yeah. Have you ever felt before being on a date if someone's taking you out and then you kind of like look at the menu and it's kind of pricey? Do you ever feel bad like about ordering something you really want, but it's like,
I've
I
done
don't
that on
know.
business trips too. Like go to
You're like,
a restaurant and you like look at the menu and you're like, you know, everyone's ordering and it's a business trip, it's a business expense, but still you're like, fuck, like $130 for a fucking steak?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You know, like,
Yeah.
oh my God, like what's the smallest thing I can order?
Yeah, a salad.
They're like, order whatever you want. And I'm still like being cheap, kind of like looking for the least expensive thing to order.
I'll get the side salad and a piece of bread.
Exactly. And a water, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just certain things that you just, you know, shouldn't talk about yet, but it's like kind of this looming question about like, when is the right time to talk about certain things?
Yeah, like things that are more personal into your life, you know, that you might not want to bring up right in the beginning because you want to kind of paint a picture.
Yes, everybody wants to have like that glossy, peachy
Yeah.
looking, you know, first date, first couple dates. It's kind of like the honeymoon phase of dating.
Yeah.
You know, those first dates where you're like, you're really into somebody and you're trying to learn about them, but you only want to really share like the best parts of you versus like maybe stuff that's going wrong in your life or stuff that's wrong with your health, problems that you have. You know, I just don't know when is the right time. Are we talking like weeks, months? And one day you just drop like, hey, I'm actually have like 6 kids and I have
Oh my
diabetes. I mean, that was just a random example. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying like,
Yeah.
when is it okay to share that kind of stuff?
I think it just depends on, you know,
The seriousness?
yeah, the seriousness of, I think you'll know when it is the right time because you'll know how you're connecting with that person. And if you guys are even like, you know, really seeking more interest in each other,
Yeah, that's true.
then you're going to want to start opening up about yourself. But I think it just, I don't know. I think around the time, like maybe the 3rd or 5th date. I don't know.
Yeah, that
Depends on how
makes
much you talk
sense.
to the person too. Maybe you go on a date with them, but then maybe you're like always talking on the phone too. You get
Yeah,
to,
that's true.
you know, especially like if you ever, I don't know about you, but I've been in like a long distance relationship where you talk on the phone all the
All the
time.
time.
So in the beginning, you really get to learn so much about each other because
Yeah, that's a lot different dynamic than like say
Yeah.
you're dating someone but you only go on like 3 or 4 dates over like a couple months.
Yeah.
You know, so it just, you're right, it just depends on like the pace of the dating.
Yeah.
And how close they are together and how much you share.
Yeah.
Some people are really reserved.
yeah,
You know,
that's
I'm not
true.
gonna lie, I'm pretty reserved. Like I don't just like, you know, share everything at once. I like to kind of like pick and choose and feel things out. And maybe part of that is like having had bad experiences in the past.
Yeah.
You kind of do like guard yourself a little bit
You're a little more guarded.
And I don't even know if I would call it guarded. Like that's my initial explanation, but maybe it's just having boundaries. Like you said, like there's a right time and you'll know when. And
You'll
just
know
like
when.
on the first or second date, just like dumping your life story on somebody is probably not going to sit well.
Yeah.
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 You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, good to know.
Unless it's something that maybe they might bring up that you can totally relate to. You
Yeah,
know what I
that's a different
mean?
scenario.
Yeah, like if they're like, oh yeah, I have like 3 kids. What about you? Do you have any kids? And they ask certain things.
Yeah.
That's some things that you might not have shared unless they asked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So asking the right questions.
Yeah.
Asking the
Yeah.
right questions to really open the dialogue
Mm-hmm.
and learn more about each other, within reason. Like, I wouldn't ask somebody like some really personal questions on a first date. I would keep things very light. What things do they like? Like, where are their favorite places? What's their favorite food?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of shows do they like?
Yeah.
Just like questions that you can relate to, versus like super personal questions.
No, definitely. What is like in your mind, what is the perfect first date?
Oh my God. I always feel so cheesy answering this question.
I know. I feel like I've answered this one on Instagram a lot.
Really? Have you?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
what was your answer?
I don't remember. I've like answered it a few times.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I think the perfect first date, not just the cliche answer of just going out to dinner,
Yeah.
I think like going on a walk, like walking on the beach or going on a hike even.
Yeah, so an experience.
Yeah, yeah. Because then, you're like outdoors and, you're like doing something different besides sitting there. The pressure's kind of off.
Yeah,
Kinda
dinner
get
is
to
a
know each
little
other.
daunting.
Yeah.
Like sitting there across from somebody that you don't
Yeah.
really know. Or like, I know I mentioned this before, like going out for drinks. That's like so much pressure to
It
me
is.
to have like a conversation. And like you said, like a hike or a walk or going to the beach or doing an activity. Like maybe it's, anything. Like
Yeah.
going somewhere, like to an aquarium or to a
Exactly.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Going to a movie would probably be like one of my last choices.
You don't even get to know the person.
No, you're literally staring at a screen for
That's
2
an easy way
hours.
out for someone. Let's just go see a movie. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, if you're dating for a while and know each other, but yeah, no, not a first date
But
option.
I remember like being young and people being like, "Oh, you want to go to a movie?" And it's like, no.
Yeah, no, I'm
No,
good.
I don't. No, I don't want to go see a movie with you.
Uh-huh.
I know what those boys were thinking.
Uh-huh.
They're
Yep.
just thinking of,
Dark
like,
room
make
together.
out.
Yep. Mhm.
I would
Yeah.
agree. First dates would be nice just to have an experience and get
Yeah.
to know each other and talk and do something fun.
Well, another thing is, okay, let's just say you're on a date and it went well, and they lean in to kiss you, but you're not ready to do that yet. How do you get out of an unwanted kiss?
I was young, I got dumped a lot because I wouldn't let boys like kiss me or touch me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was definitely like somewhat reserved and just kind of nervous. And so I honestly always gave them the cheek. Which is how I would get dumped. Just like they would like lean in to like kiss my mouth and I would just be like this.
Just kind of turn
Give them the
slightly.
cheek. So I don't know. I wonder if my initial reaction would be that now or if I would just, be like, just kind of like back up a little bit and like, thanks so much for the date. Like I had fun or, whatever,
You
depending
kinda
on
set
where
the
we
tone to
are.
that. Yeah,
Set
at
the
the end of the
tone
night.
of it. Like I don't feel like kissing someone after a first date is some type of expectation.
Not at all. Yeah.
But some people might feel like that. Like, oh, I just took you to a fancy fucking steak dinner and you didn't even kiss me. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that there should be an expectation. If you take somebody on a date, it's because you genuinely want to, like, get to know them. Now, if you're just looking to fuck on the first date.
Don't go on a date. And
don't go on a date.
Yeah. Go have drinks and then go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you instead, if that's what you're expecting at the end of a first date, maybe you skip all of that and you just go for the hookup, And there are plenty of people that just want to go hook up, They're willing to, like, swipe, go meet up for a drink or go meet up at a hotel or, whatever, and just do it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the whole thing of how people think, oh, should to have sex or not have sex on the first date? I think if it's someone you actually think you might like, it's not a good idea.
No, I would say no. And if it's just a hookup, like we said,
Mm-hmm.
then skip the fucking date. You know, skip the fucking date. Unless you're really fucking hungry and you guys are both on the same page and you decide that you want to eat before or after you fuck.
Yeah.
You know, then that's different. But that's, like you said, setting the tone.
Yeah. Yep.
You know? But for me, I would say no fucking on the first date.
No. Mm-mm.
Not if you genuinely want to have more dates with a person and you actually want to get to know them. Because I just personally am kind of a get-to-know person.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I'm not a one-night stand kind of person. That's just not what I'm into.
No.
You know, and kudos to whoever wants to do that. But not me.
Yeah, those never, you know, go anywhere.
And maybe some people want that,
wham,
you know?
bam, yep.
Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, though. I'm not, I don't know, into things that are, like, super pointless and, you know.
Yeah, I can do that shit on my own.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
But, well, cheers, you guys.
Cheers.